magical beings, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and I am the Woodland Witch. It has been a minute. I have not filmed for YouTube in over a month. This has been one of my longest breaks, I think, aside from when I was having my baby. So many of you have checked in on me, and for that I am so thankful and grateful. You guys really are the best. This little community that I'm a part of is so supportive and so uplifting and comforting, and I really can't thank you enough for the patience, the love, and the support I have received over these last few months. I wanted to do a little check-in with you and share with you what happened this summer and where I was. This summer was very spontaneous for me, and it was very changing and moving in a lot of different ways. I always like to do a little reading or a check-in at the start of every season, kind of just to see what lessons may be coming up for me, if there's anything I need to be focusing on or paying attention to, or even just how I can connect with the season a little bit more. My practice is really influenced by seasonal shifts. I believe that every season has lessons to teach us and stories to tell if we allow them to. I will say summer is not my favorite season. I am not a fan of warm weather at all. I would much rather have a crisp 55-degree day with a warm cup of coffee and a comfy sweater. But this year I challenged myself to really be present this summer, which is part of the reason I was not as active on here. Like I said, my summer was very spontaneous. I did not plan one trip this summer, and I took many. Primarily just locally here in New England. I went to New York. I visited my mom a few times, and that was really, really awesome. I got to see my mama, and she got to spend time with the baby. And one of the best things about that was that I got to take a road trip with my daughter, and it was just her and I. We met my mom in Syracuse, which is the halfway point between her house and mine, and that was just one of the best experiences I could have had with my daughter. She had the best time. We stopped to see the sights together. We stopped at overlooks. The rest stops in New York are freaking awesome. So they had one that had a giant playground and like a river walk, and she just had the best time. And I was so happy to be able to have that memory with her this summer. She is getting so big and really starting to grow her in her own and get her own personality, and it was just one of the best things that I will remember for the rest of my life. When I did my little check-in for what the season was going to bring, I pulled the Mischief card. In the Woodland Wardens deck, the Mischief card is very much about spontaneity. It is about lighthearted fun and really just going for opportunities as they arise. And I really feel like this summer has been exactly that. Even now, as summer is coming to a close, I have spontaneous plans. I just made plans with my lovely friend Heather from the Wild Forest Witchery, and we are going to get together in Salem. Just a little spontaneous day trip. I'm just really excited. I feel like I am so blessed to have the friends that I do and the support system that I have, and I feel like they were such a big part of my summer as well. So after pulling that Mischief card, I felt a little challenged because it's very hard for me to go with the flow and to just let things be and to not be a little overbearing about plans and making sure every T is crossed and I is dotted. So this was definitely something that summer taught me this year, was to have fun, to be a little more carefree, to let go of the reins a little bit, to be spontaneous and fun and know that it is okay to let your hair down and have a good time. And I think I really struggle with feeling guilty for resting in a society where we're just made to produce and see how much we can pump out in any given amount of time. Like, I feel like that's something I very much have been trying to break the habit of. That is exactly the lesson that summer was like, this is what we're working on this year. So I'm really thankful for how spontaneous it was and how fun it was, and I really just went with my gut and I followed my heart with what I wanted to do. I spent a lot of time in New York. As I said, I went to meet my mother halfway in Syracuse, and I also visited Glen Hollow this year. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I went to Glen Hollow last year. It is one of my favorite places in the world. Glen Hollow is just another world. It feels like when you step inside of it that you're in just this bubble of like magic and excitement and enchantment, and it just feels like so separate from the outside world. It feels like its own life force, and that weekend away was really transformative for me. That was really the start of my spontaneity this summer. I felt so relaxed and so comfortable, and I always feel that way there. I dove in waterfalls and I did so much healing and releasing, and I just felt so rejuvenated and just coming, like I was coming back to life. After that trip is when things really started to shift for me, mundanely and magically within my craft. I was kind of forced to make some really big changes in my life. Unfortunately, I was bit by a tick this summer and I was diagnosed with Lyme disease. I'm doing much better, but it forced me to make a lot of changes. It forced me to slow down. It forced me to prioritize myself and my body. Everything in my life was changing at that point. Everything I was eating, at how much I was working. I'm a chronic people pleaser, and I'm always trying to show up for other people, and I really, at this time, I had to show up for myself, and I had to take a step back from content creating. I had to cancel things that I had originally planned, like shop updates and things like that, and I really struggled with that. I felt like I was letting everybody down. My therapist was like, why do you feel like you're letting everybody down? What is the root of it? And I said, I said I was going to do something and now it's not happening. And I felt like angry at my body for this happening. And I kept trying to push it. And I was like, no, I'm fine. And one day I woke up and my inflammation was so bad. I couldn't see, I couldn't move. I was just incredibly sick and was very much forced to stop, reevaluate, listen to myself, listen to my body. And also, this is probably one of the first times I was really challenged as an herbalist. So while all of these things are shifting and changing in my life, I'm forced to slow down. I can't eat the same foods I was eating. I have to completely change my diet. My way of life completely changed. And I sat there and I was like, I'm an herbalist, like I can help myself. And that started a whole process of discovering treatments that would work for me. When I initially went to the doctor, the antibiotic I was on was making me horribly ill. It was making me so much sicker, and I didn't know what else to do. I was really just like, I'm never gonna get better. This is my life for the rest of my life. I'm just gonna feel like this. So I really started researching, really delving into my herbal craft to find a system that was going to work for me. I ended up figuring that out. When I went back to the doctor to get a different antibiotic, I found someone who was very helpful and respectful, that I was also wanting to incorporate herbs into this healing. They were very supportive of it, and I found a system that worked where I could take my antibiotic that was helping and also have herbal supplements that were working in tandem and meshing well with the antibiotic that I was taking. So it really tested my herbal skills as well. With me having to be so present this summer, it really allowed for a deepening of my craft, herbally and magically. My herbalism practice has been focused on a lot of preventative measures. While I do have some day-to-day things that I deal with that I've used herbs to help me with, I felt like this was the first time I really had something severe that I needed help with. It was a lot of researching, a lot of trial and error, and it really deepened my herbal craft immensely. I was able to find the perfect treatment plan for me, and it has been a few weeks now since really settling into that routine, and I'm feeling better than ever. I still have days that are a little harder, and I'm a lot more tired than I used to be, but I've really just learned to find that balance of producing and creating and resting, and that guilt is slowly but surely kind of dissipating. I think one of the biggest lessons this summer, along with the spontaneity and being really present, was that I deserve to take care of myself. And I think that's one of the things too that really pushes this I need to produce mindset, is finding worth only in what you can put out. And that is a reflection of how I view myself. And so it was really a challenge for me to sit with that and say, no, you deserve care, you deserve love, you deserve rest. And I deserve to put as much care into myself as I put into those around me and into the things that I'm passionate about. This summer taught me a lot, and I feel like it was challenging and life-changing in so many ways. I connected so much with myself again, and I was present in my craft. I was present with my body. As the summer comes to a close, I feel as though I learned so much and that I shed so many layers and thought processes and lack mindsets that were just holding me back. I learned to care for myself again. I learned to prioritize myself again. And to all of you who were so supportive and patient and kind with me, I just want to say a big thank you, because I truly realized I have such a beautiful community that I am a part of. And it's one of those communities where what you put in, you definitely get back tenfold. And the way that all of you showed up for me and my friends and my family, and how just loving and caring all of you were, I just can't thank you enough. But this summer was really one for the books. I am coming out of it a completely different person in the best ways. And I'm really excited for what the autumn season has to share with me next. My shop will be reopening on the 18th of August. I am finally feeling well enough to craft again. While I have learned to pace myself and rest when needed, I am definitely excited to get back to it. Another really exciting thing that happened this summer was I launched my first destination retreat, and we are going to Ireland. You can check out the full itinerary at the link in the description, but I am so excited to take this magical journey with all of you. I just want to continue to nurture and grow this community that I'm a part of. I think this trip is just going to be amazing. I have so much planned, and I cannot wait to share more with you soon. But as always, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.